give you marketeers, traders, vendors, and small-scale farmers information on how you can access soft loans, contribute to social security, and learn more on how you can pay tax. ABN TV. Watch it, live it. Access to loans.
It is a lovely evening today, the 30th of the month June in the year 2020. You are still enjoying our programming as ABN Television, and it is now time for Chikwama TV show. Chikwama, for those of you that are bumping into it for the very first time, this is the program that is dedicated to you, the entrepreneurs, businessmen and women. Okay, those of you that are into trading, those of you that are into marketing, marketeers, vendors, small scale farmers. So anything to do with business at that level, at the small and medium level, this is the platform that is dedicated and meant for you. So every time we come on this show, we share issues that will result into solutions to those problems that you are facing as you run your day-to-day businesses. Okay, welcome to this show this evening. My guest is Mr. Kelvin Chisanga, all the way from I-NetCom Business Solutions. As the name suggests, these are people that provide these solutions, answers to all those problems that you are facing as a young and emerging entrepreneur. So remember to get in touch with us using the number that is on your screen. Please ask those questions as bring them, keep them coming as many times as possible, because the person, the expert, is right here to provide you with those answers that you are looking for. So at this time, allow me to welcome my guest in the studio, Mr. Kelvin Chisanga from I-NetCom Business Solutions. Good evening, Mr. Chisanga.
Good evening, Franklin. Good evening, viewers.
Thank you so much. And you can as well follow us on our Facebook page. Just type in ABN TV Zambia and you'll be able to catch us live. So we are live on your screen, TV, as well as ABN TV Zambia Facebook page. So without wasting much of your time, today's topic, very, very interesting. We're trying to understand and look at 10 billion stimulus package. What is this package, and how can you as an entrepreneur, a small business entrepreneur, emerging entrepreneur, an SME in short, how can you have an access to this 10 billion stimulus package, and who is eligible anyway? So Mr. Kelvin Chisanga is here to help us understand and what kind of steps are being taken, and then where can one have an access to this fund. Mr. Chisanga, generally, maybe begin by explaining what this stimulus package is.
Okay, the stimulus package, which is actually termed as also as a medium-term financing facility. It is the instrument that has been put forward to actually cushion the impact, the aggressive impact of COVID-19. Of course, understanding that Zambia has been prone to so many economic challenges of late, of which as a result of an unexpected shock which happened with the COVID-19, we've seen that there has been a low pattern of economic activities in the economy, of which Bank of Zambia, looking at the mandate that they have of stabilizing the economy, controlling of price, and all those issues related to what they do according to the mandate and according to the Banking Act of the central bank. They thought it wise to say that they needed to actually come in and help cushion the impact. So from their balance sheet, they came up with a stimulus package to just help out the
Cushion the
to cushion the impact. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds quite interesting.
Yeah.
But then, who that is? Bank of Zambia is the central bank. So how is the process of an ordinary person like myself? How can I have an access to this fund? Because I've never heard of anyone saying, "Naenda Bank of Zambia, I'm applying for a loan." So how is this supposed to be done?
Okay, if you look at the banking and finance structure of this nation or any other nation, they have got what they call a central bank, or maybe I would even say an apex bank. An apex bank, in this case, it's a Bank of Zambia, which is a central bank, which has got regulatory powers to monitor the commercial banks. The commercial banks are banks that are now happens to be intermediate banks, where they're able to cross-cut interaction with the people on the ground, like me and you, and few others in the broader market. Okay. So basically, it has so many works that it does under its function. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're telling me an ordinary individual will have an access to this finance through a commercial bank?
Yes, through the commercial bank.
So the commercial bank gets the money from the central bank?
Yes.
And then me as an entrepreneur or as just an individual, I can only have an access to this finance or this fund through the commercial bank.
Through the commercial bank.
And
yes.
Who is eligible to this fund?
Well, anyone who's got good standing on the credit reference books or bureau is able to access that money. Yeah, of course, it's targeting macro enterprises as well as small scale, and even individuals. It can target them those who are involved into business. This money is not for consumption.
Yeah, because I was going through the stimulus package, 10 billion stimulus package. Yeah. You know, I was looking at. I went through it.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the two area of concentration by the Bank of Zambia, like you earlier alluded to. Yeah. The one to cushion the economic impact. Yes. The economic negative impact that COVID-19 has brought to our economy, as well as at the household level.
Yes. So obviously, when you are in business, like for example, being an entrepreneur, whatever you do, at the end of it trickles down to your household needs. Yeah, so that's what it's actually implying to say. Yes. So if you throw money into the circulation, I mean you access money in the circulation. Of course, their aggregate demand at some point meets your demand at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I was thinking maybe home, household. I'm looking at, maybe I'm building a house. Nifuna ndisize nyumba yenimanga, or maybe it will be,
because when you are building a house or you are putting
maybe I want to sink I want to sink a water hole for my maybe.
Yes. As long as at the end of it all, that water hole should be an immediate commodity that it has to produce something at the end of it all. So even when it comes to the household, when you invest the money into the household, or you invest into building, obviously that translates to be a fixed asset, and the fixed asset at some point it appreciates and gives you value.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So those are the people who are eligible to access this fund. Yeah. But are you privy to at how much lending rate this is coming? Is it free?
No, it's not absolutely free. Of course, the stimulus package has got a component of having a spiller effect. When they
what do you mean when you say spiller effect?
It implies to say that if the benefit is going toward the financial service provider, for example, I'll give a typical example, Zanaco in this case. I'm just giving an example. Zanaco, if Zanaco happens to have the money now, they have taken a benefit of that money into their coffer. So that benefit they have come with, which has come with that package in their coffer, before they dispense to these other people, or rather, as it goes to the other consumers or the people that are contracted by Zanaco in terms of loans, they should be able to benefit. So the process of that comes to be a spiller effect.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I see. So now, Mr. Chisanga, in case you just joined us, you are watching Chikwama. We're coming live from our ABN studios right here in Lusaka, and you are interacting with us through the number that is on your screen, and then also you can catch us for those of you that are not near your homes, where you can have an access to a TV set and tune in. You can still use your smartphone, your iPad, your computer. Just go on Facebook and type in ABN TV Zambia, and you'll be good to go. So keep sending those text messages, keep them coming. We want to interact with you, and then the answers that you've been wanting to have concerning the 10 billion stimulus package is concerned, the person is right here to give you those answers. So this package, we've been, it's been talked about for quite some time now, and I think it's high time we began to see the benefits. Are banks already accessing or have this 10 billion stimulus package in their banks?
Yeah, let me just give you a snapshot, bit of a background in some sense. This stimulus package was first pronounced on the 2nd of April, as the Bank of Zambia governor mentioned, actually, said we are coming in to help. Of course, it was made available for access on the 15th of April. And of course, because of certain parameters that are being taken place in the background, looking at ways and means of how they can benefit the on lenders, the far-end users. There has been some talks. Of course, the package is offered, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's supposed to be 12.5% to the commercial players. Then at the end of it all, they expect not to go beyond a certain target, which is about 17.5, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So there are a few modalities that were actually, hampering the whole process. But obviously, we've got a good news now that there has been about 10 applicants who made access to this application. We know that in Zambia we've got about almost close to about 19 banks, commercial banks. Okay. Yeah, so you can imagine almost like 7 or 8 of those banks haven't applied, only 10 of them that have applied. Then also, if you look on the other side, also we've got a combination of non-commercial banks as well. So on the non-commercial banks, we've only got about 12 which also made the applications. Yeah. So coming back to your question, I would have to say that right now, as we speak, we've got about 6 approved banks, which commercial banks, which are actually now almost accessing this money. The whole thing has been approved. Okay. Then we've got about 7 of which there are also non-banking institutions which have also accessed this money. You know, as I mentioned in preamble, the main essence of this fund is to lubricate the wheels of the economy. So obviously, we've got a good number of projects that are being focused, and with this money, it has got an aspect of repository ratios, where it has a component of 60% and a component of 40%, in that they have reflected it from NAPSA National Development Bank, National Development Plan. Mm-hmm. So with that said, they are looking at obviously things like agriculture as one of the top priority within the 60%. Yeah,
agriculture, manufacturing, tourism,
so, those are
energy.
Yes, so they're looking at those four key pointers for this actually this money to work as aggregator in the market.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Now, one other very fundamental question that the would-be beneficiaries to this fund would ask is, they'll begin to look at the comparison of the lending rate at which they do access these loans from these commercial banks and these non-banking financial lending institutions. At what, how much rate, at what lending rate do they access those loans? So what is different? What distinguishes this stimulus package, which is supposed to cushion the negative impact, caused by COVID-19? How would you, so that our viewers out there have, a clear picture?
Let me give you a very comparative situation now. In as much as it has come as a pusher for most of these needs that are required to fulfill in the market, the stimulus package also has some competing commodities. Okay. We are now talking of the COVID-19 bonds. We are now talking of the monetary policy led loans as well. Yeah, so which are also attached to that as well. Then not only that, also we've got even government treasury bills. So you find that the scope is quite huge. So even when, like, you talk of maybe say, why are the banks not taking up? Maybe
I would ask that question.
Okay, if you ask me that question,
I wish I was asking someone from one of the commercial banks and say, hey, come on, according to this information that I have, states that this was approved, this became active. The money became accessible on the 15th of April.
Yes, and
we had May, June, and now. Here we are, we have hit July.
Well,
how come you are not making any announcement that here's the money, come and...
Okay, again also maybe, on that I don't want to lose a lot of points here.
Okay.
The point is, if you are told they couldn't access the money at that particular time when the money was mentioned, there are so many variable factors which one would consider from there. Okay. One of the factors would be that there was so much uncertainty in the market. Okay. Yeah, so for NSME activities, they are the biggest stakeholder when it comes to supply of money. They are the ones in needs of aggregates of such kind. So you find that it's very difficult for them to actually flow the money in the economy when we've got even a power of non-performing loans as well, and the economy was almost standing still. There was no money coming, and a lot of there was even just a low uptake of activities. So it was just very difficult for them to. So they looked at that as one of the risk factor.
Okay.
Yeah. Then not only that also as well, I think even just the component of marketing of credit product, it's very difficult in that environment where there was no inspiration in the market, so it was just very difficult as well. Then coming to what I just also talked about earlier before, I would love to say that when you look at what is happening now, One person would rather rush for treasury bills, government bills or treasury bills, I should put it, or any bond like the one we've got, 8 billion COVID-19 bond. So you see, people will make more money because even the interest rate is quite good. It's about 30% compared to maybe giving somebody COVID-19 money and then start chasing them up. So you find that the needs for investing into short-term market instruments it's quite high compared to going through the traditional loan. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying when it comes to lending rate, this stimulus package is more on a relaxed.
No, it's got a good lifespan. If you look at the priority ratios, if you consider the priority ratios, the one for 60%, it's got a lifespan of about 5 years, of which you're able to make.
In which you're supposed to pay back.
Need to pay back. Yes,
okay.
But when it comes to the others category, which is 40%, it's got about 3 years. So if you look at it's a situation where you have to be categorical in whatever you're doing.
Okay.
Take this example. Here is this situation where I need to invest into the money market or into the market, and I need to make an over 10 quickly. So I will make an over 10 quickly going into the treasury bonds or treasury bills. It is quicker because I would consider maybe a period of about 1 year. I'll make, or even just 90 days or 30 days, I'll make money. You see, because I know that with government you cannot default. There is a high possibility that when you flow in your instrument in the treasury bonds market, you will get the money quicker.
Okay.
And it will come. It's guaranteed.
So
compared to going that route where every time I call a customer, the business is not good. So you have so much obligation, and you end up now losing out at some point. Yes.
Okay. So when it comes to now, with all that said, obviously this money is coming with the terms and conditions.
Yes.
So what would be the difference, or what would be difference in terms of an ordinary loan terms and conditions as compared to the terms and conditions of a stimulus package which someone can have an access? What would be the
the difference is just almost minimal, but with this one also the benefit are that you will consider you'll be considered to have a longer period of time
in which you're supposed to
pay.
Or
yes, and also because you are going not into consumable or essential goods type of business, you're going to investment. It's most like investment, so they will give you a good period of time for you to pay back.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's one of the good part with the stimulus package. But,
so grace working period, obviously.
Yes.
It's one of the things
and
that it is coming.
You may maybe even be slapped with some tax incentives of some sort as well. Who knows? Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. In case you've just joined us, you're watching Chikwama on ABN TV live, coming from our Lusaka studios, and you are getting in touch with us through the number that is on your screen, and also our Facebook page, which is ABN TV Zambia. For now, we take a short breather. We continue when we get back. A short break.
Social security and issues to do with tax were only left to the formal sector. But this is not the case anymore. Watch Chikwama. This program is dedicated and meant to give you marketeers, traders, vendors, and small-scale farmers information on how you can access soft loans, contribute to social security, and learn more on how you can pay tax. ABN TV. Watch it, live it. Access to loans, contributions to Social Security, and issues to do with tax were only left to the formal sector. But this is not the case anymore. Watch Chikwama. This program is dedicated and meant to give you marketeers, traders, vendors, and small-scale farmers information on how you can access soft loans, contribute to Social Security, and learn more on how you can pay tax. ABN TV. Watch it, live it. Access to loans, contributions to Social Security, and issues to do with tax were only left to the formal sector. But this is not the case anymore. Watch Chikwama. This program is dedicated and meant to give you marketeers, traders, vendors, and small-scale farmers information on how you can access soft loans, contribute to Social Security, and learn more on how you can pay tax. ABN TV. Watch it, live it.
Welcome back. This is Chikwama coming to your screens live from our ABN studios right here in Lusaka. And today on Chikwama, we are trying to share with you, what stimulus package, 10 billion stimulus package is supposed to do to our economic and household, activities. And then how can you also access this? Because we've badly been hit by COVID-19, which is coronavirus. It disturbed quite a number of things. Businesses were disturbed at household level. Most of things were disturbed. People could not travel. People could not, make unnecessary movement. Even the essential movements that you usually, carry out. There was, there are so many people that could not take the risk. People decided to stay home, and we were all advised to stay home. So that meant, a serious disturbance in our day-to-day running of affairs, business-wise and just household. So now we're trying to understand the 10 billion stimulus package, which is supposed to cushion the negative impact that COVID-19 has come with. So I'm joined by, once again, in the studio with Mr. Kelvin Chisanga from I-NetCom Business Solutions. So once again, I welcome you.
Thank you.
This is a very interesting topic. So keep those text messages coming. Mr. Chisanga is here. He will definitely respond to those. Terms and conditions. Money is one thing that is so exciting.
Yes.
When you talk of money, anything to do, muntu agambira cheni drama. Always mturo to bonds. Wala santa mkavantu group. Shinga.
Because money is a legal tender. It's a means of exchange for commodities. So definitely it has legal power.
Yeah. So now, commercial bank, financial service providers. I'll group them like that. Financial service providers.
Yes.
These are commercial banks and the non-bank financial. Yes. Yes. So, both of them are called financial service providers.
Yes.
So these guys are accessing the fund from the Bank of Zambia.
Yeah.
And of course, definitely, Bank of Zambia has laid down the procedures, do's and don'ts, terms and conditions.
Yes.
In an event that one among the financial service providers, breaches, breaches the agreement.
Okay.
What happens?
Well,
you find that maybe that bank or a lending financial institution might be punished, and then they decide also to extend the punishment to an innocent entrepreneur like myself. So how do you think that works?
Well, I don't think they will be able to extend the punishment to the consumer as per se, but what will happen is that they will just impose some bit of sanctions relating to their regulatory framework in terms of laws. They are going to look at issues of now bringing the section number 4 or number 2, which actually works out with a bit of punishment, of course. What is going to happen now is that maybe the consumer can face a punishment when the bank is forcibly told to bring that money back, because it means now the money won't be able to go along with the certain regulation that they have programmed if there is a breach. So those are components that they have actually put to say they will exercise some powers as a central bank once, because what they are trying to do is that the scope which the central bank is working with is working at trying to improve the socio-economical aspect of the people in the nation. And as per mandate, the Bank of Zambia regulates, or rather looks at price stability. So if it happens that the commercial bank gets money and then by way of their operation they abrogate the law or they breach, then they will face some bit of sanction here and there. They will actually be punished in some way.
So that won't trickle down. It won't reach the beneficiaries. The end user. It could be the end user.
Yeah, in the value chain. Yes, it could be. It can affect actually in the value chain. It can affect even the end
beneficiaries.
Yes, it can affect them.
The SMEs themselves.
Yeah, it can affect them. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because a bank in that case is going to act as an intermediate player in making sure that the economy moves, because obviously the Bank of Zambia releases the money to the commercial bank, and by way of operation the commercial bank goes a different way, maybe by hiking the interest rate. If it is discovered, because obviously we know that the Bank of Zambia from day to day they check the operations of these commercial banks, they monitor them, they do the market operations and all those things. So in some way it would be very difficult for them even to just go that way, because one of the prerequisite or mandatory component which actually is involved in accessing this money from a commercial bank perspective, they have to adhere to the regulations as well.
Okay, yeah. Set by the bank.
Yes, and even just the conditionality that has been set in that package.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. Then we are secured. We've got security. We've got security. So now, like earlier, we mentioned about when is this fund going to be ready in commercial banks? You say they've approved.
Yeah, from the
10 banks.
Yeah, there were about 10 banks which applied, of which there's been an approval of about 6 banks out of the 10, and they have got a good share, of course, of 3 million, Zambian kwacha so far. They have accessed that money. And also there is a compilation also of non-commercial bank, which also about 7 of them. In total there used to be 12. So right this moment as we speak, we've got some headway.
Okay.
Yeah, some headway.
So these monies are not yet sitting in these financial institutions, but at a later stage.
Well, I may not be able to confirm.
Can I go tomorrow?
No, what I would say is that I may not be able to say the money has hit now into the account. I would mention to say that right now as we speak, the approval is done, and obviously the banks that participated, which were eligible and qualified to this stage, they can actually even start dispensing from what I know, because the impact has been so much.
Yeah,
and looking at the economy now, it's like now the uncertainty feel has actually been lessened. So going forward, there will be an increase or expansion in domestic credit.
Okay, yeah. Interesting stuff. In case you just joining us, this is Chikwama coming to you live from our ABN studios right here in Lusaka, and we are discussing stimulus package, 10 billion stimulus package, which is meant to cushion the negative impact that COVID-19 put on us, our businesses, and etc. So this money is meant to at least rejuvenate, resuscitate, so that life goes on.
Yeah.
And I'm joined by Mr. Kelvin Chisanga from I-NetCom Business Solutions, who is elaborating from that angle, so that we have an understanding of what is going on. Now, at this time, at this juncture, Mr. Chisanga, I would love you, to speak to the marketeers, the vendors, the SMEs in general, because I'm sure these are the people who are eligible to have an access to this, stimulus fund. Yeah. So, what would you advise them to do?
Okay, the best ideal model to go about accessing this money, of course, as the first start, you have to identify if your financial service provider has accessed that money, if you're told they participated as well. If you're told they have accessed the money, or they're about to access the money, the many catch now will be for you to come up with a bankable project. And of course, it has to be quantifiable with a focus of profits. You don't just borrow without looking at a projection. You have to have a steady focus horizon to say in the next 2, 3, or even 8 months from now, I should be able to put myself to say I'm paying halfway of this money, or I'm waiting on a positive trajectory. So those are issues that maybe you'll be able to focus on to make sure that you are sure of what you are going to undertake. Because you cannot just go into accessing or contracting a loan, and your business is not something that has a positive outlook. So you have to consider all those factors. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Interesting. And your advice to those who are starting up for the very first time, they've never done business, and because they've heard that there is this money, there they go. Boom! They've just woken up from I don't know where, and they really want to participate, and they really mean it. Your advice?
I always keep saying that whoever start business during this COVID, I mentioned last time, will be baptized by fire. So if one actually has a zealous spirit and is able to make good of maybe that money, and he's got a very bankable project in terms of proposal, obviously they can make good use of this opportunity. And the way the market is now, it's most like it's stimulating now. Anything that you think has been essential in this market, you're able to access value out of that. And the consumer demand levels are quite high. Looking at people are coming from a slow space of economic movement. So even the volume of business, I'm sure at some point will spark with a good number. Yeah.
So now bringing the aspect, you've spoken about this, and I would love you to amplify it this time around, that we are advising our SMEs out there to get involved and access this fund. The innovation, creative way of please emphasize on that point.
The mode of business now has to be very innovative and creative as well. You cannot just go into the market looking at the conditionality that are prevailing now without a scope of creativity. So it calls even just for sort of like smart partnership of some sort. So if you identify to say, look, we are coming from a life where there has been shadow shadow lockdown of regional, borders, of which us in our case, of course, we had an inlet or outgoing traffic in terms of the border. Though we are trying to mitigate the impact that COVID would have caused. Of course, we slowed down our economic structures in terms of activities. But again, also, if you understand from that background where we've seen that there's a gap, because right now the COVID-19 issues has actually created, has broadened the market in that you can quickly make a turnover if you identify certain things that have been a frequent.
As long as you're creative.
Yes, if you are creative. Of course, creativity comes in that you impact a value addition to whatever you're trying to put in the economy.
Okay.
Yeah. So that actually is what needs to be done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Creativity, innovation. Do not venture into business just for the sake of, others, because you've admired somebody who is successfully, they are doing fine in whichever business venture they are into.
Yeah.
And because you've, admired, and without you doing those consultations so that you have a clear understanding how they are managing that business, there you go, you find yourself at the bank, there you go, get the money, and then you even invest, minus planning, minus, innovation. I think that will be very, very sound. Well. Okay, so as we come to the end of this program, Mr. Director, if we have some text messages, I think we can quickly read them, one or two, and then we wind up. Okay, it seems we do not have, those text messages. But do sure to, keep sending those text messages to that same number on your screen, and we'll gladly read them out on our next episode. Your winding remarks, Mr. Chisanga.
Okay, the financial market sector as a variety of financial solutions, of which I think we also need to look at other competing commodities on the market. I mentioned of COVID-19 bond, which has actually been approved, and it's going to also start operating as well. It's one of the instruments which also can be a consideration for those.
Is that meant for the bigger business guys?
It can also mean for you and me. When you talk
in some way.
I'm sure we can find time at some point and talk about the bond as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's one of the competing element that one can also exercise. Buying power in the market. Then also we've got a component which is a stimulus packet, the Meduim-Term Financing Facility. Also, it's one of the second component that can also be looked at as well for those who want to venture. Of course, venturing into almost bigger project, those semi-bigger project, which are enshrined in the 7th National Development Plan. Yes. Yeah. So with that said, we've also got now even a traditional product which actually are on the market, like to talk of issues to do with the normal monetary policy based loans, where you can get loan based on the MPR. So those are issues that we can also look at. So sometimes it's always important, even as an entrepreneur or as a small scale player, to actually also consider the various solutions that are there as a mixed product of the financial market.
Okay.
Yeah, as they target the broader market as well.
Okay.
Yeah, you should also try to understand which product we can contact from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So from me, Franklin Mwapeka Pindula, and the entire production crew, this has been Chikwama, and we are looking at the 10 billion stimulus package. As an SME, very, very important, get involved and then seek to know more, have knowledge. When we are talking about some of these things, do not let them just pass you. Get involved and learn one or two things so that you understand where you can chip in and have a share of this bigger cake. So from me, Franklin Mwapikapindula, it's bye-bye for now. See you next Tuesday as we bring you another interesting topic in line with IMPIA.
Access to loans, contributions to Social Security, and issues to do with tax were only left to the formal sector.